Welcome to a muzzled freaking chat. We're going to change things up a bit right out the gate because today's just going to be a special, very special episode. It's going to be like none other thus far. I mean, for a multitude of reasons. I just felt the need to pump the brakes on a lot of the things happening out there in the world and kind of more so slow down, focus on the present, the here and the now, and the importance of doing so to absorb the value in actually living this life. I'll be honest, I have let the weight of my personal financial situation cloud and impede on me living in the moment. And of course, life is going to continue. Of course, life is going to happen. Of course, little obstacles are going to take place. And as I've sought out God in the wilderness, of course, there's going to be challenges. Of course, the devil doesn't want that to happen. So I met a lot of these speed bumps. Let's just call them stub your toe moments. It could be minus the weight of the financial burdens. I may have been able to more so look at them as just that, kind of a stub the toe moment, very short lived, soon laughable, But unfortunately, I'm more human than that. And these stubbing toe situations accumulated and drug me down in a way, kind of beat me down to a point of feeling worthless to an extent, inadequate, a failure. Well, now we're really on to something. Clearly, evil's working hard to whisper lies and defeat us in our own hearts and in our own minds. And it's crucial we catch that when it happens, because we just really can't allow ourselves to go fall down that pit any further. It's just going to lead to more pain, despair, dysfunction, and it will just seem harder and harder to climb out. So if you want some of the dirty details, literally dirty details, I mean, things as silly as I'm operating that generator, as I explained before, and I'm having to clean out that spark plug, fill the oil, just very needy machine. I forgot to put that oil cap back on. I gave that thing a crank, and it just ruined one of my favorite shirts. And I can't have nice things. One of my only pairs of jeans that don't have paint or tears or something. Well, not my only pair, but one of my few only presentable ones. Of course I was wearing this, but it does sadden my heart to have the One Nation Under God shirt now be just speckled with oil. And it's crazy. It pretty much is just a laughable moment, but it's just wild for all of us how certain times just not enough things seem to be going right. And especially with some other pressures, whether it's financial, and I imagine it could be, you could replace that weight of financial with so many other things. It's crazy. It's all things we've been through. We've been there before. Yet we allow it to negatively impact us and drag us down. And it's not fun for anyone to have doubt and feel like a failure. So I kind of want to address that personally, try to dissect that to be able to acknowledge the own defects I have and try to get things wired up more effectively to minimize any time spent there in despair and just acknowledge it for what it is, rebound, and kind of come out on top, right? But it was more than all that. The lack of power and the weight of the finances to get things revamped to continue. In a way, it was a building pressure, not being able to pretty much show up on behalf of you all and fulfill this commitment I've basically signed myself up for in this path I feel God has very definitively set me on. So everything's just building. Many other things are happening, signal issues. And here I am in the wilderness trying to connect with God, show up more clearly, more effectively for you. And yet here I find myself getting all sorts of testy, defeated. Anyway, well, I had to find solutions. I want to give a plug to my dad. Me and my dad have our differences. That's for sure. In fact, we also have our similarities, and that's probably actually what causes the bucking of heads, probably more so than anything. But he really took a second to listen, and I just want to appreciate that. And it's important that we take the time to appreciate and acknowledge those in our lives when they step up to the plate in a helpful way. Because at that point in the wilderness, it wasn't working out. And I'm trying to figure out financial solutions to fix this situation I find myself in and continue and weighing out the options. And it, to me, truthfully, kind of was like a breaking point ish. I just felt like melting down. And so my old man called a friend in the direction I was planning on heading and landed me a slot where I could plug in. Power's not an issue. He actually happens to be the solar guy I was referencing in the other video that may be a solution. So we'll see. Time will tell. Fingers crossed. Needless to say, it's been a long day. Even in packing up, loading up, and leaving camp, I left my dang archery block behind. So you're welcome, I guess, to if someone picks that up. You never know. Maybe I'll luck out and next time I go through there, I'll swing in there and there it'll be. But I can't even think. It's just little things like that. And it just adds up and it weighs on you and it beats you down. And I don't want for any of our listeners for anything in life to beat us down to a point we can't just simultaneously shrug it off. And we can't allow it to drag us down. I know it's all easier said than done, but I truly do believe at the root of it, it's still spiritual warfare on an individual level because I truly have so much to be grateful for. We all do. And it's important that we pump the brakes, give ourselves some grace, and treat ourselves with some kindness and love. Because the reality of my situation, I mean, I'm still dealing with Lyme disease, which is gravely impacting, valley fever, a whole bunch of co-infections, mold, toxicity, and we're still working to get out some last bits of the metals and such. My dog's over here sleeping. I don't know if you can hear her talking in her sleep. I think she's frustrated at those squirrels. She's barking up trees. Anyway, golly, I need to snap to it. I am, in a way. So I apologize. If this episode isn't for you, we have some amazing guests lined up. And it's tricky nowadays getting schedules lined up. But we're going to make it happen. And we're going to get, not that any one individual story is any more important than the next. But boy, we definitely got some powerful ones coming up. And it just seems to be just building a momentum, if you will. So I just want to play a few clips that I hope just feeds into a better perspective. More so, I don't know if you will, challenges accepted mentality, or just have a different lens on to just see things more clearly so you don't get too wrapped up. You, in a way, have the tools necessary for the situation that comes up. So you're just equipped. You're prepared. Maybe in a way, this was just another wake-up call to me that, hey, you have been lacking a bit working out in the spiritual sense. You need to do better with prayer. You need to do better with the journal and getting your nose in that Bible. Maybe. So in a way, I'm grateful to pump the brakes. I'm grateful to have this moment with you. And I appreciate you. Hear me out. Any support, any comments, any advice, tips, tricks, maybe even a good biblical verse would be greatly appreciated. But still here, still not going anywhere. Unfortunately, I'm just further up in the mountains. I'm actually near Cholo area. Not going to give too specific of details, but up in the cooler weather, which I'm grateful for. It's not quite where I was planning on being at this time, but I'm grateful for it nonetheless. And I'm grateful to connect with you here this evening, regardless. Okay, enough talk. Which one should we play first? Let's go ahead. You know what? To soften our hearts a bit, let's play a clip of this amazing young little boy living in a body of open wounds with less than half his skin. I can only imagine the pain this little boy's going through. I can't pronounce what he's dealing with, but I believe they call it EB. I know it doesn't always help when someone's in the suck and you tell them that it could always be worse. It in fact could have an opposite intended impact, but there is truth to it. And to basically see a young boy dealing with something much worse, man, it sure just shines a light on the work I have to do, and a lot more self-mastery to be had. Okay, let's play this clip.
Why is family so important to you?
Because my family and my friends, I know that no matter what I go through or what happens, that or like whatever goes on, they're always going to be there. I know what I would do for my parents, and I know how I would feel if they were ever like this. And then I think about how I would feel if I had to do what they do for me.
Do you like music?
Yeah, I like music.
Do you have a song that you think represents you?
Oh, Under Pressure by Queen.
Why does that represent you?
I don't know. I feel like it's a song about like empowerment, and no matter like what's going on in the world, you can always overcome it.
What's the most valuable thing somebody can offer you?
Friendship, love, passion, something that
Wow, that's so powerful. Friendship, love, compassion. That's what my dad was for me today, and I'm grateful for that. Isn't it crazy how fragile we are in this state? How far a little bit of kindness and love or selflessness can go and the impact it can have. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject. I just know a lot of these thoughts in my brain are going to be gone if I don't speak them when I, like, kind of on the spot. Let's get back into this freaking warrior.
will leave an impact.
When somebody meets you and sees you for the first time, what do you hope they think?
Nothing. I don't want them to have any expectations yet. I want them to wait until they meet me and then, decide what, they think.
It seems to me like above all else, you value realness.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, because at the end of the day, it's really, that's what you got.
What's something simple other people can do that would improve your quality of life?
Think of others. If you inspire other people,
Wow.
then they inspire other people, and it just keeps going on, so that it just helps everybody.
Do you have any regrets in your life?
No.
Why not?
Because of where I am right now. If every single choice I made led me to this, then I did the right thing.
Wow.
Why are you so content with where you are? Do you mean literally on this couch?
Yeah, why not?
Are you in the moment all the time?
Yeah, why not? I'm shooting a video for YouTube.
What is your biggest hope for John's future?
My biggest hope is a cure for EB, that he's independent and happy and not in pain.
Wow, prayers to that little boy. God heals him. He's got a great heart, doesn't he? And he seems wise beyond his years. It's wild how hardship can lead people to such gifts. We ought to be even grateful for our challenges. And boy, do I need a mirror right here. I guess I could when I say that. Okay, let's play this one next.
Oh, so everyone that doesn't believe in Jesus is just going to hell. Like there's no point. It's like when you choose, like you're not understanding that hell is the default location. Like we're not being sent there. Like we're already on our way there. We're already on our way to hell. We have made a reservation. And if you continue to choose a life, if you choose anything outside of God, if you continue to walk in that competitor lifestyle instead of the companion, which you have the option to, if you choose a life outside of God, your eternity is outside of God. Like that is your free will. That is your choice. And ultimately, a loving God is not going to force you to spend eternity with him. He wants you there. That's why he gave you the option.
Wow.
So it's like, well, it's just the super polarizing thing where it's like, oh, well, if I don't believe in Jesus, I guess I'm going to hell. It's like, well, if you don't want anything to do with God, who God really is, by the way, then you're not going to have anything to do with him. Like, it's just really simple. People are like, well, I do love God. I just don't subscribe to the Christian God. Well, then you don't subscribe to God because that is who God is, not because I say so. That's not my opinion. That is the objective reality that, again, God gets to determine because he's God. Well, what about all these other people's idea of God? Idols, false. 2 Corinthians 11:14, even Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Again, that's not mean. That's not polarizing. That is just true.
Wow.
And the fact is, yeah, Jesus said there's two roads. There's the broad road of destruction, which is narrow and wide. And then there's which is wide. And then there's the narrow road, which not many will find. But the option's there for everybody, right? The Bible says it's not God's will that any man should perish. Like, he doesn't want you to go to hell. He didn't create you for hell. He created hell for the devil and for the demons. But when we made the choice to choose back in the garden, something outside of God, outside of his companionship, outside of his image and likeness, when we actually submitted to the enemy's temptation, then that was our default location too, because God is holy and good and just and all the things that we already talked about. Like, he can't have anything to do with it. But he's giving you the option to have everything to do with him through the sacrifice of his son, Jesus Christ, believing on Jesus Christ. It's really simple. Like, it's really simple not to go to hell. It really is. And if you don't like the idea of hell, like, I get it. But the thing is, like, not liking the idea of something or not believing in something doesn't make it not a thing.
Wow. I don't know. To me, when I play that, I just can't help but to grasp the importance to why are we here? What really matters while we're here? And I guess even in this moment, it really kind of solidifies to me to continue showing up right here, doing what we're doing, but doing it better. All glory to God. I mean, it's so crazy. We all have our own life to live, and that's that. You can't force anything into anybody, nor should you. Like she stated, God gave us that choice, that free agency. He wouldn't be a loving God had he not do just that. But just, I don't know, if for some reason someone's made it this far and they haven't found Jesus or fully believe in God, I also get that. I was there as well, and I had my reasons. But I'm just here to tell you from my own personal experience that the best feelings I've felt in this life, the biggest blessings I've received in this life, the most peace, and kind of that just pinnacle moment, if you will, of my life has been through seeking answers in relation and understanding with God, Jesus, and why I'm here. So with that being said, I just hope that everyone does their due diligence in giving him a fair shake. With that being said, let's dive into this other clip where Cliff, he just does a really good job on, I'm having a hard time even coming up with the words to say regarding this clip, but he makes things tangible and kind of understandable for us to, oh wow, like not allow the demon to sway us and for us to excuse doing our due diligence in this one arena that is in fact the most important arena of our lives. In fact, the very reason why we are here. Anyway, let's play the clip.
Prove to me what there's a heaven that's up there. Prove to me that there's, this truth, that your God truly exists.
All right, I'll do that. If, first of all, you prove to me that your taste buds are telling you the truth when they tell you you're drinking sour milk.
Secondary rational, some things you can't prove, so then you fall upon
Some things you can't prove. Sir, I'm sorry, I haven't communicated clearly. Sir, you can't prove a thing. To prove means to show it cannot be another way.
Wow.
You cannot prove a thing in life. You as a thinking human being don't base your life on proof. You base your life on evidence. What does the evidence point to? And you follow the evidence. To prove means to show it cannot be another way. What can you prove in life? Prove to me we're having this conversation right now. You can't prove it. We might be dreaming. Someone might have dropped some drugs in our tea. But the evidence is we're having this conversation. That's why I'm hanging in there with you. That's why you're hanging in there with me. Evidence. Okay, so the evidence is God exists. The evidence is the order and the design of the cosmos point to an intelligent mind, moral absolutes, point to some moral giver, lawgiver. Life comes from life. Never once have I ever seen life come from non-life.
Right.
An atheist is someone who says, oh yeah, at some point, somewhere, at one time,
No.
in La La Land,
Right.
life came from non-life. And I'm saying, all of my experience shows me life comes from life. Never once have I seen life come from non-life. Fourth piece of evidence, free will. If there is no God, you're just a hunk of biochemical reactions. That's all I am. You're not free. You're determined by your biochemical reactions. So am I. I'm sorry. I judge myself at night. I say, you know, Cliff, when you spoke to that student, that was pretty rude. When you spoke to that student, boy, you displayed a lot of patience, man. Tomorrow, do that again and don't do that. I judge myself. I critique myself. I'm free. I don't have to do what I do. Well, if I'm free, it means there's more to me than just my biochemical makeup.
Right.
There's a soul, a personality, an I that goes beyond the biochemical. I have a free will. Well, the free will can only exist if there's some type of God.
Isn't that beautiful? It's simple, but I mean, it's mind-bending a bit to fully grasp. Maybe play this back a few times. Man, Cliff does such an amazing job speaking light. I just love it.
Who creates me biochemically, but also gives me a will that's not totally dependent upon my biochemical reactions. That's why I believe God exists. Now, why do I believe Jesus is reliable? Because the historical evidence of the way he lived, what he taught, how he died, how he rose from the dead, points to his credibility. If you live like Jesus lived, if you teach what he taught, if you died the way he died, loving and forgiving your enemies, and if 3 days later you rise from the dead, sir, I will listen very closely to everything you have to say. Because the evidence is you're trustworthy. So that's why I believe in Jesus. Does that make any sense?
Slightly, yes.
Slightly. I'm glad it was slightly and not at all, because it is deep. You gotta fight back against evil in finding God and faith, and some defective wiring, maybe some insecurities, maybe some traumas. I mean, there's a lot of situations in life, obviously, that could put additional weight for someone to pursue. God or Jesus Christ, could be families of other faiths, all sorts of things. But got this 1 Minute Prayers book for men here. How suiting. I flipped the page. You can't make this up. I flipped the page and it's titled Hard Times. Let's just dive into it. Hard times. A rough patch. My life is consumed by anguish, and my years by groaning. My strength fails because of my affliction, and my bones grow weak. Psalm 31:10. These are hard times, Lord. People are struggling. Sometimes I'm struggling. My strength fails because of what's going on in my life. Help me, Lord. Give me some light at the end of my tunnel. Open doors to freedom that are now closed. Change, oh God, my direction. Bring help. Bring relief. Give me your spirit to get me through this rough patch. Hold me up, Lord. Amen. Yeah, that'd be a beautiful little tool prayer to have. I mean, I was once told anytime anyone to minimally just, if all you can get out of your mouth is, God help me, then just keep repeating it. So I actually had fun kind of opening. I should probably have bookmarked that. It's Tyndale Bible Verse Finder in this Every Man's Bible. It's just got all these scripture references, and sometimes it's just fun for me to come in to hear seek some things to read, and I've gotten great fulfillment at times where I just felt led, and it more than filled my cup. So, not sure if you've ever tried just reading through some of these, it's like arguments and a bunch of scripture, armor, assurance, atonement, attitude, authority, baptism. And it's got a whole bunch. I find it extremely valuable. But let's go to this one. I just kind of stayed with an attitude. Well, there is this one right here that just really jumped at me. Bible. The Bible is perfect. And it jumped to Psalm 18:30. God's way is perfect. All the Lord's promises prove true. He is a shield for all who look to him for protection. We need protection. I need protection. God's there to give it to us. Anyone who seeks it. It's a promise. And this Bible is perfect to guide us to achieve just that. But I didn't even get through all the attitude where I just felt compelled. All right, we got to kick this thing off. But right here, bad attitudes hurt our relationship with God. Genesis 4:6-7. Why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right. But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master. Wow. That is powerful. Could some of our anger just be stemming from a life with some sin or because of sin? Ooh, that would be a good one. Integrity, humility. Okay, let's jump to Proverbs 29:25. Always trust God for your life. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. I'll leave you to ponder on that one. Oh, I'm probably going to butcher this one. It says, choose a positive attitude. This is from Habakkuk. I believe it's how it's pronounced. 3:17-19. Even though the fig trees have no blossoms, and there are no grapes on the vines, even though the olive crop fails, and the fields lie empty and barren, even though the flocks die in the fields, and the cattle barns are empty, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation. And it even continues. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread upon the heights. This is where I just love getting into the word, because you can continue and it just fills you and fills you up. It's like the most useful tool we really got. Which one was this? Matthew? God will reward the meek. Matthew 5:5. God blesses those who are humble, for they will inherit the whole earth. There were things I wanted to touch on that last one. I don't know why I just jumped ahead. I'm kicking myself now, but I guess we're all perfectly imperfect, right? Put in all this freaking time, effort, and work, and I guess maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe it's for you to ponder. But it's important that we humble ourselves 100%. That's a big one. We do not know it all, nor we ever will. But the more we can work on ourselves and try to achieve a level of self-mastery to where we're not downtrodden and defeated and just Don't let the devil deceive you and lie to you. We are all stronger than we all know, especially through Christ, through a loving God that created us all. Okay, all that being said, I just appreciate you all for supporting a muzzled chat, for supporting me. I look forward to refining myself and getting better at serving you all, giving more valuable content as we continue and grow. I thank you for subscribing, following, sharing this content. If you know anyone that this could potentially uplift or help, let's do what we can to pay it forward, to have a maximum positive impact. Let's create that community, that family support structure where we can boost each other up and achieve essentially like that rising tide that rises all ships. We can do that together. We obviously could have a lot of great positive impact together as well. Let's just take a minute here and talk about Patriot Mobile. Folks, they are doing great things. It's just clear as day that that's one of the calls to action we all should at least at a minimum look into. Because there is a great chance that you'll save money, that you'll get better cellular coverage, that you'll get security and a blanket of privacy through having them as your provider, and you're no longer funding fully the enemy. You're now funding the only Christian conservative mobile network available today. It truly is a no-brainer. It is a win-win any way you look at it. And I hope you call them today. You can click the link below, or when you call them, just simply mention promo code UNMUZZLED. That's promo code UNMUZZLED, and they'll waive fees and take care of you. It's important we get prepared. I keep getting wind of these big things come down the pipe that are going to happen. And we've said it a lot, is to, hey, there's a lot of things that are better to have and not need than need and not have. Well, so much of those things I feel pretty much can become worthless if we lose our abilities transport all those other items, aka still drive our vehicles. So with the looming threat of an EMP, I believe we all should take advantage of this $50 off every single product, and at a minimum get these EMPs installed on your vehicles. I installed one on the home as well. As far as preparedness is concerned, I feel that is the best bang for buck you're going to do out of everything. That's just my opinion. But if you click the link below, you'll get $50 off every product. Order yours today. Talking about more preparations. Off-Grid Gear, the number 2, go.com. It is the hub. I actually just had a call with a friend today that is really excited about that episode we had with a radio expert. If you haven't seen that episode, it has power outage on the image on Rumble, but it's labeled Chat with Craig, Communications Expert. This man has over 40 years, like basically geeking out on these things, and he knows everything. So you could get in touch with him and find out the most affordable, viable solution for you to have communications for all sorts of reasons, whether it be for adventures, hunting, or it be on the preparedness side. I find it crucial that we take those steps. So great source. Just mention Unmuzzled when you're talking with him or in the checkout. He said he was going to add that in the promo code. So don't know, haven't gotten confirmation if that's in there yet. So just be sure to mention that in there, and he'll include free programming to your radios and also unlocking the radios so they have their full abilities. Let's move on to our health a bit, because let's just be real. So many of us, our quality of life is diminished because our health could be improved. And I really mean it. I feel we could be doing everything right on the nutritional side of things, but yet still be suffering because we have a toxic overload of whether it be molds or metals or chemicals, parasites. It's important we eradicate all that. Well, I attribute Bond Charge, the infrared sauna blanket, to really leading to breakthroughs on my end. So be sure to check that link below. Get 15% off of any of their products. You really get what you pay for. And with the quality you receive from Bond Charge, it is well worth the money. If you want to magnify the detoxification of metals and forever chemicals, add the tincture Masterpiece. Be sure to check out that link below. Click that. Check out that product. Everyone should get Masterpiece. I just went through a bottle. I'm ordering another one. Probably order a couple more. But it's just so crucial that we cleanse until we effectively rule out all this crap in our environments that is intentionally put there to diminish, as we've covered on episodes. Let's not get into it. It's not what this episode's about. But until then, we must up our detoxifying. So just like that other gentleman was saying, an infrared sauna is a must for everyone alive today. And he was an old timer, and he was recommending at least twice a week, 30 to 60 minutes. So this tincture's a godsend as well, and has had amazing impacts, even with me personally. Now, if you happen to be near, it's even worth traveling a ways. So if you happen to be in the state of Arizona, check out Unchained Wellness Clinic. Take advantage of calling in, mentioning Unmuzzled Chat, and getting a free infrared sauna session there and a cold plunge. And while you're there, get educated on their AO scan. It is incredible. I can't wait to finish the editing on the scan I had done, how it nailed it out of the park. It got more specific on identifying the issues and ailments I was dealing with than thousands of dollars of blood work, and at a quarter of the price. So it's definitely worth looking into. Now, sad, you might not be able to see the splotches. Maybe you can. It does look kind of splotchy. I'm really sad I ruined the shirt. I'm still going to rock it. I'm just not going to wear it to the ball that I don't attend. But be sure to go to Black Eagle Apparel. Support that man and everything he's been doing. A veteran. All his shirts that have the OVF on it, Our Veterans First, the 501c3, 50% of the proceeds go towards that nonprofit. He still has the wheel up that you could spin and get 40% off. Plus, you're getting the 10% off with the Unmuzzled Chat promo code. So you could get 50% off an already reasonably priced t-shirt. What are you waiting for? Plus, you could support our platform because we have an Unmuzzled Chat t-shirt on his webpage. Go check it out. Okay, that's enough. Oh, as I knock things over, I'm exhausted. I am grateful for this moment. I truly am grateful for these challenges. It just highlights how much work I have to do. And I just hope and pray that episodes like this can help breathe that light in, change that lens to where we could be grateful for the hardships we're all going through, but collectively together ease the burdens to them all around and be there to support one another. That, my friends, I feel the more we can accomplish that, we just are naturally gonna fix the evil and the ugly in this world around us. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you. God bless America. Till next time, take care.